Welcome back to quantreef.com. ETH is sitting right at 1900, basically glued to 1896.70, and that's a tight spot worth digging into. We'll walk through liquidity, support and resistance, VWAP, Fibonacci, fair value gaps, positioning, and where this likely goes over the next several hours. Price is 1896.70, right against the 4-hour pivot cluster near 1898 and 1892. Trend and structure score reads strong at 82.8, but volatility is compressed at under 24, so momentum is more neutral than directional right now. Price is wedged between the anchored VWAPs at 1896.23 and session VWAP at 1898, meaning it's trading right inside value, not accepting clearly above or below it yet. The heat map itself isn't showing clean pool data this round, so I'll lean on the fair value gaps and fib structure instead, which tell a similar story. Price is coiled between a resistance zone up near 2000 and a demand zone down near 1700. Markets tend to drift toward these imbalance zones because they represent unfinished business, thin order flow that eventually gets revisited before any real trend continuation. On the panel, resistance above sits at 1936.72, then 1977.13, then 2019.71. Support below is the fib 0.618 at 1896.64, essentially right where we're trading, then the stop-loss shelf at 1887.50. Given how thin structure strength is here, I'd expect the panel's nearest resistance to get probed first, with stops likely resting just under that 1887.50 line. Above, there's an unfilled daily bear gap between 2030 and 2055, about 7.5% away, still acting like a magnet longer term. Below, a bull gap sits between 1646 and 1694, nearly 12% down, largely untouched. On the fib side, price is parked almost exactly on the 0.5 retracement at 1897.82. Given how close that fib level is, price is more likely to react to it first before either gap comes into play. This one's graded watch, N-score 81, HTS not printed. Trend and structure at 82.8 and volume at 85.6 are carrying the grade, while Fibonacci location at 35 and volatility at under 24 are dragging it down. Retail and top account longs aren't printed, but the 4-hour taker split is basically even, 49.1 long against 50.9 short. Sellers have a slight edge in recent flow, though it's close to balanced. With price sitting on the 0.5 fib and between VWAPs, the path of least resistance is a probe toward the 1936.72 resistance or the strongest liquidity wall near 1944, where the short setup targets 1934. If sellers hold that wall, and taker flow stays short-leaning, a fade back toward 1862, the long pool, becomes the alternative. Remember, ETH largely follows Bitcoin's own liquidity flow, so check Bitcoin's picture before leaning either way here. A Bitcoin sweep can override a clean ETH setup instantly. Bullish case confirms above 1910, invalidated under 1887.50. Bearish case confirms under 1896.64, invalidated back above 1944. So ETH's at a real decision point, and whichever side clears its liquidity pool first likely sets the next few hours of direction. If this kind of breakdown helps, give it a like and subscribe. Quantreef.com runs this same 9-layer grading, probability and liquidity read across over 100 coins, with a 7-day trial if you want to dig deeper. This is for education only, not financial advice.